Yesterday, I put up a video and quickly took it down after about 10 minutes on my initial thoughts of the Diablo 4 beta that is running this weekend. Here's a little bit of what I said. This is so far extremely uneventful. It leaves no impression at all, which is really weird. I know the Blizzard of today is not the Blizzard of the old days, but I felt pretty good about Diablo Immortal because that immediately was just fun to play. But I don't know, man. If I were considering buying this, I'm gonna keep playing it. It probably will make you addicted. But you know what? Here's what it is. Here's what I'm thinking. It feels like the magic is not there. It feels like they've got the Diablo formulas down, and that's good. You know, so if you're into the grind or you're into the franchise, it's solid. There's nothing bad about it. But it doesn't have any heart. It doesn't have any spirit. It just feels, it just kind of sits there. I took it down because it didn't totally feel right. Like all that felt correct, but there was also a part of me that was starting to go, well, maybe I want to go back to it. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to put out my impressions of it until I know what that's about. So I went back to it and I went from going, to going, this is really great. I love this. I don't know if it's game of the year. I don't know if it's the best Diablo ever made, but it's really, really, really fun. And I've been playing it nonstop all weekend since then, which obviously got me thinking, what in the world happened? Okay, so I want to show you what I think happened, why the opening of Diablo 4 is not good for me. This is one of those places where people are going to be, I think, like, well, Jaffe, that's your ADD. That's you streaming a game when you're playing it, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure some of it is that. I know some of it is that, especially the ADD part. But I would invite you to question, is what I'm saying logical to you about the fact that it's the game developer's job to surprise and delight you right out the gate and to make you happy right out the gate. A lot of gamers will say, well, you got to give it some time. You got to give it some time. And it's like, well, I get it because you've spent a lot of money on the game or some money or some time on the game, but is that really your job? If you were arguing, oh, it's slow burn and I like the slow burn, I respect that. It's not usually for me, sometimes, but not usually. But for you, okay, I respect that. But the idea that it's like, go easy on it. You got to give it some time. Like, that seems like a concession gamers make that is really a responsibility to developers. Let me show you what I mean, because I started thinking Diablo Immortal, the cell phone game that came out earlier this year, I was immediately hooked by that. So I wanted to kind of see what was different. So this is footage from the new Diablo, and I made a brand new character level 1, because like I said, it did eventually get really fun and compelling. But this is a brand new barbarian character. Let me show you the very opening of what this feels like.
I should find better shelter before I freeze.
That's Diablo 4 combat. Right out the gate, you've unlocked nothing. It's just what you do right out the gate. This is Diablo Immortal right out the gate. It looks cooler, it feels better because the effects are brighter and more vibrant and in your face. The sound effects are crunchier and bassier. I don't know how much of the animation or the controls are different regarding just sort of the sense of direct control over the character. I don't know if there's a little bit of sort of animation lag to make the animation look better on Diablo 4, but I can tell you that it's much more satisfying to play this, which is the phone version, than this at the beginning, which is Diablo 4. So, fine, Jaffe, whatever. You're going to throw a game away for that? No. I'm just saying that this is the game after a cutscene that I watched, and I was like, all right, I'll send into the story. This is the game. Okay, fine. And then the game goes on and on. It's not like hours, but you go on for like 5 to 6 minutes, wandering through the woods, fighting wolves with this one attack over and over and over and over. And that's your opening. It's an action game. I'd like to think that even if they're not going to give you all these crazy weapons right out the gate, at least they would do something conceptually strong in the map or in the enemy design or something to go, whoa, this is okay. I'm hooked. But it feels just kind of like boring, especially given that you've got so many other games you can go to. I don't think games can afford to open like this anymore. It doesn't have to be a car chase, but it needs to be engaging. Here's something else about the phone game. Again, what you're looking at right here, Diablo 4. All you're doing, same button, over and over and over, you can't do anything. This is immediately within like 30 seconds, 40 seconds of playing Diablo Immortal. You have your basic attacks. Then they also almost immediately introduce a 360 attack. And they also introduce this kind of arc attack that feels really good to do and sends enemies flying when you hit them with it. That's right out the gate. So first, let's just be clear. The combat and sort of, hey, let us entertain you, the showmanship of Diablo Immortal, I think nails it in the first 5-10 minutes, much more than Diablo 4 does. The other thing that Diablo 4 does is, and again, I am not a Diablo, I've played every Diablo since 2. I'm not like, I don't know the series, but I'm not one of these like, I follow the lore, I've read the books, you know. I've always come to Diablo and enjoyed Diablo as a hack and slash co-op, really cool world, great graphics, just kind of fun, crazy, you know, it's like a big boy grown-up gauntlet. I'm sure there's a lot of deep lore there and whatnot, and maybe all the Diablos have been this way, but I just don't remember. But Diablo 4 feels like a director and or writer came on and had a little too much control to tell their story. They got a really nice opening cutscene in Diablo 4, which was great. Really well done, semi-interesting, semi-compelling. And then they just won't shut the fuck up. It's like, I know that if you go into a town and you choose to talk to people, that's on you, that's fine. But look at some of this shit. I mean, this is before you've gotten any new attacks, any new weapons, seen any new monsters. You go right from that barren wasteland with the one attack into this town, and then you talk to these people, and then the lady's like, come with me, let me show you something. Okay, then you go into the bar and you can talk to people and get things from people, and you're just like, Jesus, could this fucking game ever start? And then when the game starts, they're giving you all these choices right out the gate, which is great in terms of leveling up your character or choosing paths, but some of them just don't feel as good as others. And you would think, again, it's like, look, we have to make sure that every single thing that you can unlock first, it's certainly not crazy strong because it's level 1 or level 2, but it's got to be cool. You got to feel good about using it. But my first attack, my first thing I unlocked was just this fist thing. I don't know why. I just didn't know anything, clicked it. And this is how it's very unsatisfying. But anyway, yeah, so they go into this village and then you fight a little bit. And then there's this scene. And it's just like, what? This is what I said yesterday when I was making the video, which I still stand by. Why is this fun? Why did anybody making this game go, you know what we need at this point? Just this being really slow, nothing happening, except some fucking quotes. A lot of people in games, look, I'm not a good storyteller for the most part. I'm not great at writing, but I know enough about it to know that there are sort of scenes that are self-indulgent. Like and a movie would cut all of this. A good movie would, like, he'd walk out, we'd cut to him opening the door of the barn. Did we really need to see the whole fucking journey? I just don't understand it. Do they not have editors? I'm not opposed to the exposition and story. I think that's great, but I just don't, even if it was an over-the-shoulder game, it's no get out of free jail pass when it comes to making something boring. What is this doing in Diablo? It's like they think they're making a Naughty Dog game or something. It's like, just don't do that. But again, that aficionados of the franchise may be like, dude, we love that. That's been in every one and you just forgot. Totally possible. But that mixed with the combat intro made the first hour of this game for me just feel, It's like, whatever. And then eventually, as you can see here, it became the Diablo I know and love. It's fun, lots of fun things to unlock, lots of loot to collect, really bleak and cool fantasy world, very Diablo Elden Ringy. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. But that first hour, again, I know a lot of you are out there. I've had these kind of discussions with you before. Are going to be like, well, you got to relax and you got to let it slow burn. There's a difference between engaging slow burn, which is great, and just kind of shitty onboarding where somebody on the team needed to step up and say, hey, people are giving us 60, 70, 80 more in some cases bucks for this goddamn thing. Let's open with the bang, even if the bang is not action. It can be something different. It can just be like, oh, here's a neat new way of navigating something. But it feels lazy and disrespectful to the gamer that the first hour or so of this game, maybe 30 or 60 minutes, depending on how fast you play, is just really rote, been there, done that, unsatisfying, even when compared to the phone game the same company put out 6 months ago. But that said, though, I'm glad I stuck it out because I'm loving this game now. And I'm looking forward to playing it for a very long time. It's great. I highly recommend getting in when you can. Diablo 4 open beta all this weekend. And then I think there's a beta next weekend where you don't have to have gone to KFC and bought something, and or you don't have to have pre-ordered the game. So hope I'll see you online. Be well, be good, be safe, be flat. Come on, man. Just say goodbye.